so beautiful.
In this week's Bondi Vet compilation, we unveil the most breathtaking before
Bloody hell.
and after transformations.
Come on, gorgeous girl.
From tragedy and heartbreak
Misty's paralysed. She's not moving those back legs at all.
to a newfound bright future,
A little flap of approval.
these before and afters
Wow.
are truly unforgettable.
So when are you booking in for your facelift?
How rude.
Inside the clinic, bird lovers Neil and Bloss are waiting for Chris with their badly injured 3-week-old cockatiel, Sydney.
What's happened this time?
You remembered us.
Of course I remember. Go on through. So who's this?
Sydney. He was born on Australia Day.
Okay.
And his mother and father and brothers and sisters all tried to keep him warm in a little nest box, and hence the splayed legs.
Heard of close families, but that's a little bit ridiculous. When the whole family's come in and slept on top of Sydney, what that does is it forces Sydney's legs back behind him, squashes them down. I'm worried they're actually broken, or he's got some serious nerve damage there. At this age, they're incredibly fragile, and he could very easily have serious problems that just can't be fixed. What I want to do is just first of all feel for his hips, make sure they're actually in joint. So what we need to do is actually make sure that there aren't any fractures there. Femur feels okay, and these legs feel all right. The great news is Sydney doesn't have any fractures or dislocations there, but what has happened is those legs have been hyperextended back and locked into position, and now they're stuck there. If he's actually had nerve damage to the point where the nerves can no longer do that, then it's going to be really hard for him to actually live a normal life. Thought about it? There we go. Can you see that?
So what do you do, stick your tape into the perch?
No.
I was joking.
I'm not.
Oh,
Good. Chest on.
It's actually exactly what we do.
Really?
okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. It seems a bit drastic, but often the drastic works. He looks like a bit of a ski jumper at the moment, but so you just give him very light support there.
Yes.
See how he pushes himself forward? He lunges forward like that. That's building up those muscles. Pressure there. Where did I learn about this? Made it up. So it becomes like gymnastics for him.
And the winner is Sydney.
But to make a full recovery, Sydney will also need an intensive physio program.
Bit of parrot Pilates. Push back on the knee and bring the ankle forward.
I don't think he's in pain while you're doing it.
No, he's all right. He'd be feeling the burn. Yeah, be feeling the stretch. So push back on the knee and bring the ankle forward. So it's a lot of work for a little guy, but it's a lot of work that'll have big rewards if you can actually stick with it. Not all birds in this situation actually do make a recovery. It's about 50-50. I've got absolutely no doubt that Neil and Bloss will carry out these instructions to the letter. My biggest concern is whether little Sydney's body's up to it.
I love all my birds. I will give him Pilates. My animals come first, before me. Always.
G'day, good to see you.
Bloss,
How are you?
Good. Now, where is he?
Wrong cage, right behind you. Pick bird.
Oh, man.
Look at that.
I know.
This is Sid, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's it.
This is how Sydney looked only 3 weeks ago.
I'd be happy if we got Sydney to just be able to stand up. But he's perching on my finger there, and he's holding on tight.
You didn't think he'd get that good?
No.
To everyone's surprise, the bizarre bird therapy has worked.
You had to be fair dinkum. I mean, he's had more attention than the South Sydney Rugby League side, for God's sake.
I knew it was just time, patience and love would fix it. And it did.
That's it. We take the pencil global. Want some of the action? Huh? About the Sydney brown pencil. Get the copyright done today. You and me. Make millions.
It's an early start for Scott. He's on the road answering a call from rescue group All Dogs Matter. Their kennels are an hour's drive north from Richmond in Waltham Abbey, Essex.
So there's thousands of dogs that are abandoned here in the UK every year, but not all of them find new homes. But I tell you what, it would be made a hell of a lot worse if it wasn't for the dedication of volunteers and staff at amazing rescue centres like All Dogs Matter. So when they say they've got a special case for me, I make it my absolute priority to get up and see them just as soon as I can to see if there's anything I can do to help. Hi ladies, how you doing?
Hi.
Who have you got for me today?
Right.
Oh, hello, gorgeous. Hello.
Little Honey in the back.
So this is Honey. Hello, beautiful. And wow.
Not in very good condition.
I only need a few seconds to see there's quite a few issues here, isn't
Yeah,
there? Hey, but you're incredibly gorgeous.
It's very sweet. So we got a call today from one of the local pounds that we work with about a beautiful Shar Pei that had been abandoned. She was on death row, on the death row list, so she'd done 7 days and was now ready to go. So we were asked if we could come over and help out.
First of all, I can see this poor skin. She's scratching like mad, very red and very thickened, all these little scabs all over. So it's almost certain she's got mange. The mange mite, which basically runs underneath the skin, is incredibly itchy, leads to this hair loss and, of course, then a secondary infection where they're scratching themselves all the time.
Sure.
But, of course, one thing we know mostly about Shar Peis is all these extra folds of skin. And what she's got, which is very classic of the breed, is entropion, or in-rolling eyelids. And what they're doing is rubbing on the protective surface of the eye, the cornea, and leading to an ulcer. But certainly, the longer that's left, the more chance that she'll become blind.
Oh, really? OK. Oh, poor Honey, we can't have that. Scott needs to fix you. I would imagine that a dog like Honey, she's quite a rare colour, would have probably cost, say, at least £1,000. So research, you know, look at what you're buying. You know, you wouldn't buy a Ferrari if you couldn't afford the insurance, you know. And it's so stressful for them being abandoned. They can suffer not just physically, emotionally. It's so difficult for them not knowing what's going on in their lives.
I'm going to do my best to make your face as beautiful as your personality, but it's already pretty gorgeous. It is.
Scott's here to save the day, save the honey monster.
It is. I'll do my best.
They're the victims in this. They are literally the pawn in a terrible game of dog chess. I don't know why people think they deserve to have a dog when they treat them in this manner.
Scott will now take Honey back to Richmond for surgery that will decide her future.
In order for her to get the forever home, she does have some fairly serious hurdles to jump. We've got to get the skin sorted, and absolutely the eye problem that she's got is severe. The procedure that we have to perform is complex, and sometimes this surgery doesn't work. There we go.
All right, say goodbye to Ira. Next week, you be a good girl. We'll see you next week.
So it really is an unsure future. Hi, ladies.
Hello.
Yes, I've got Honey.
It's a big reception at Richmond for Scott's new patient, Honey.
We've got little bits of work to do on her face, so Gemma, you can take her downstairs, get everything ready for us, and I'm going to get into my scrubs, all right?
All right, come on then. Come on, honey bunny.
The 1-year-old Shar Pei was dumped after her owners discovered she had medical problems that were going to cost over £1,000 to fix.
Well done. What do you think of her?
Oh, look at her skin.
I know, it's really bad, isn't it?
Baby.
Yeah, poor mangy girl.
Hey, honey bun.
So, we're just going to put a catheter in your leg, OK?
You're gonna be a good girl.
Give you some pre-med. You can just... I think she's just yearning for attention, any kind of attention, even a vet putting a needle in her arm. She's pretty chilled about it. She's an absolute sweetheart. This is a really complicated procedure that I'm about to perform on Honey. She's such a lovely dog, but at the moment, she doesn't have a home and she doesn't have a future. So I better get this procedure right. So you can see there's horrible eyelashes. There we go.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, and there's a little bit of swelling of all the tissues surrounding the eye as well. So, poor little girl. All right.
Oh, you're going to see the world. You're able to see the world again. I don't know how people can treat them like this. Look at her.
No.
Do you know, with everything that she's got wrong with her and how uncomfortable her skin must feel, she's still so lovely.
I know. This procedure, you would say, is a bit like a facelift. It is lifting some skin away from the tops and the bottoms of the eyes in order for her to see. But this isn't a plastic surgery procedure that's just for her beauty and good looks. This is to try and fix her eyes, try and take away that chronic irritation, those in-rolling eyelids, and the scratching that she must feel on the eyes as a result of the eyelashes.
Hard to tell. I mean, they're so deep-seated and so covered. I'm really struggling to be able to actually even see the eye. So, yeah.
Honey's lived her whole life in discomfort, I would imagine. This hasn't been a good life for her so far.
Did you get a bit carried away with the clipping?
A nice wide surgical site, Gemma. It's not about aesthetics here. Well, it is about aesthetics. I'm actually giving her a facelift.
Yeah. Okay.
Time for your close-up.
In this delicate doggy facelift, he needs to take away enough skin to stop her eyelashes scratching her cornea. Too little skin and the procedure will fail.
So what I'm doing here is just taking away a section of tissue above the eye, and then I'm going to stitch those sections of skin back together, and what that's going to do is cause a bit of tension, and it'll help to pull the eyebrow back. Yeah, it's obviously a pretty unattractive thing to watch, but it will give a functional result, which is a dog that won't have eyelashes rubbing up constantly against her poor eye.
It has put me off going under the knife myself. I don't think I'll be having any plastic surgery. Bit gruesome for me, but it's perfect for Honey. It's going to really make a difference to her. What kind of stitch are you going to do?
Was there a dressmaking stitch that you'd recommend?
Or maybe an invisible slip stitch.
Before Gemma changed careers, she was a successful fashion designer. Today, she's not holding back with her assessment of Scott's handiwork.
I don't know if I'd let him on a couture gown. They're not dainty enough stitches, I'm afraid. No comment.
It's probably the same would apply, Gemma. I don't think I'd let you free on anything with a pulse.
Excuse me, I have you know, I've been learning my suturing. They're quite good.
What you've been practicing on?
On a bit of rubber thing.
Exactly.
So me and Scott have a little bit of banter. When I first came for an interview, he said to me, well, you're no spring chicken. And he didn't realise what he'd said until he'd said it, and then it was out there. He couldn't take it back. So I think that gives me right to tease him occasionally. Yeah, she's going to let me on a live patient soon.
Gosh. Make sure that I'm heavily sedated when that happens.
I'll make sure you're not in the building. He's annoyed with me now. That's going together really beautifully, isn't it? It's amazing.
I'm really happy with the outcome. The eyelashes are now folding outside the eye where they're supposed to be, and hopefully a much more comfortable future lies ahead. So far, so good. I'm just about to move to the other eye.
So whilst you're doing this to poor Honey,
Yeah.
all the puppies are in upstairs.
I wonder what all that barking was upstairs.
Yeah, puppy party time.
You hear those playful barks and you think, you know what, I feel a little jealous. I want to get up there and have some fun. But then I realise that the kind of presents the puppies bring aren't ones that I want to pick up.
Nearly there, Honey. You're doing very well.
We get her skin sorted, we get her face and eyes sorted, and she'll be the beauty on the outside as well as in.
So when are you booking in for your facelift?
How rude.
Now he doesn't know what to say.
So there's the last suture on our little beauty, and fingers crossed, after that little facelift, she's just gonna be a happy, healthy girl. But that, Gemma, is that.
Now we've got to find her a home.
Okay, she can wake up now. Lovely. There we go, here we go. Good girl. Hello, honey. Good girl.
Hi.
Hello, hi. Look, you can see me.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, she's looking at me already. Hello.
Honey.
Ah, how cool is that? All right, should we put you back in a cage to sleep it off? Yeah?
But while Honey may be out of danger, the vet may be in a bit of trouble.
It must have really hurt because I could just tell by his face he was in agony. He's about to cry, I think. Did that bring tears to your eyes? It wasn't funny to Scott at the time, but I was dying inside. Couldn't laugh, but...
yeah.
Both Scott and Honey will have to cope with a bit of swelling tomorrow.
Good girl, you've done so well. That's the first big hurdle jumped. I'm just going to sort out your skin and find you a new home. Come on, gorgeous girl. Come on, beautiful. That's a good girl.
It's 24 hours since Honey's operation, and the Shar Pei's eyes have already opened up significantly.
Any woman that gets a facelift is always going to be critical of the result. But the fact that Honey is following me around and giving me kisses and cuddles, I think that client satisfaction is all good. Her spatial awareness with the collar's a little bit questionable. She's smashing into almost everything. But you know what, it has to stop her from scratching those sutures, and it's all important to get the result we want.
Honey has also been ravaged by mange mites, which are still causing excruciating inflammation to her skin.
Not much of a spa treatment today for poor Honey. Instead of having a shampoo that smells like lavender or rose petal, it smells like petrol. Pretty disgusting. But the hope is once we've killed off those nasty mites, she is going to have a beautiful, glossy, honey-coloured coat.
Great teamwork, but there does seem to be a bit of truth serum in this bathwater.
Vets never get involved in anything like this. It's very rare that they get involved in the dirty work. So it's always funny when they do, because they always do it wrong.
Nathan is only one of 2 male vet nurses employed at the practices.
We're surrounded by a bunch of very, very strong-willed women. You know, there's bloke solidarity with me and Nathan.
Especially when it comes to that time of the month. That's the...
He's going to get it now, I tell you.
I think the guys secretly like being outnumbered, and they give as good as they get. And certain boys are more bigger gossip than the girls. I won't name names.
All right, Honey, so you've got to dry off naturally. Oof. I tell you what, anyone that gets this dog is going to be lucky because she is an absolute delight.
Later that day, Nina from rescue group All Dogs Matter arrives to start Honey on her new journey.
Hi there, hi, I'm Scott, how are you?
Hi, I'm Nina, nice to meet you.
Hi, Nina, and more importantly, very good, this is Honey.
Hello, little sweetheart.
Isn't she gorgeous?
Very rewarding for the dog, for you as a human. When we see them progressing and finally landing on their paws, it's just wonderful. Gorgeous,
Find
look
her
at
home.
her. She's so cute. Look at those beautiful eyes. It's much better now. Is more comfortable.
It was lovely to see the bond that Nina struck up straight away with Honey. And I tell you, the more and more she spoke to Honey, the more and more I wanted to speak. What a great accent. There's a kisses. Oh, no. There's a kiss. Oh, dear. And tongues. Well, that's very French.
I told you to have the French side. Yeah.
It's always sad to see them go, but I tell you what, she is an absolute stellar dog, and she's going to find a great owner, I have no doubt. Hopefully, you'll let me come and do a house visit soon, because I'd just love to see how she gets on.
Of course.
All right then, bye-bye, beautiful. Hey, good luck at your new home. I don't think it's going to be long before you've got a loving family to go to. Ooh, you're beautiful. All right, all the best.
Thank you very much for everything.
Thanks so much for coming.
See you later. Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, honey. See ya.
Bye.
Come on, pup. Good girl.
Look at my girls. She's got both.
Another 2 weeks later, and Honey is looking very relaxed in her forever home.
Good girl.
The Shar Pei's new family are Gwen, Philip, and their daughter Catherine. Honey also has 2 new doggy siblings.
We saw her on the website, decided we really liked her, but she was actually at a foster home. So we were told we can go and see her. So we took Riley, the pug, with us to see how they got on. And me and my mum fell in love with her. So she came for a week and she just didn't leave. She just stayed. So it worked out really well for her.
Now we've got
Large, medium and small.
Yeah,
I like that. I just hope she knows that she's staying here now. I'm not sure she knows that yet.
Hello! Hello, gorgeous girl. How are you?
As promised, Scott's arrived to check up on one of his favourite patients.
I'm elated to see just how comfortable Honey seems to be, and Catherine already seems to adore her. Well, let's have a little exam of her, shall we? Hello, who are you? Hello, who's this guy?
This is Nelson.
Hello, handsome. And you got a pug over there as well?
And this is Riley over here. So we've got quite a collection here.
Yeah. Let's have a little look at your eyes first. They do look fantastic. The scars have healed really well. They both seem the same size and shape, and you can start seeing those beautiful brown eyes that she's got as well.
Lovely eyes.
Really do. And how's her skin been going?
Even the 2 weeks she's been here, I think she looks a lot better.
Yeah, well, she's certainly not itchy anymore, scratching herself to death, and it definitely looks a lot less red, a lot less sore. There's no scabs. From a behavioural point, she does seem very stressed here.
She looks stressed, doesn't she?
You are so chilled and happy in your new home, aren't you?
I love Honey. I couldn't imagine our house without her now. She's my new baby. She comes to bed with me for half an hour every night and has a cuddle. Then she goes back downstairs and then she comes and wakes me up for work in the morning, which is better than an alarm. It's a nice wake-up call, yeah.
As a vet, to treat a dog and see them getting better, that's one thing. But then to find a family in a home as great as this, for this great little dog, I'm absolutely over the moon, so, yeah.
You deserve it, don't you, Honey?
Yeah, you're a lucky girl. And so are you. You're a lucky girl.
I am as well.
Back in Sydney, Crystal and her mother Rosemary have rushed 2.5-year-old Misty to the Bondi Referral Hospital, SASH.
But I mean, what I worry about is if they say we have to keep her still. How?
The Labrador has lost all movement in her hind legs.
How you going? I'm Andrew.
Specialist surgeon Andrew Marchevsky needs to urgently assess the Labrador.
Hey, sweet. What's up?
What's up?
You're a good girl. You're very calm.
She is. She's a lovely dog.
Yeah, you're beautiful. No, I just walked in the room and it's pretty obvious that Misty's paralysed. She's not moving those back legs at all. What happened?
She was going at speed. She was running up to get the cat's dinner and I think overreached.
Oh, okay.
And so I think she probably flew down the steps.
And she was like that immediately?
She was obviously in pain and shocked and she pulled herself in from the gate with her front legs.
Okay, yeah. I mean, typical Labrador, she spied some food and gone off after it, but forgotten that there's a 1.5 metre drop in between, and she's just fallen off it, landed on her back, and then suddenly she can't use her legs. It's not good. Have you seen it with any movement in these back legs?
Not since this happened, no.
First thing I'm going to check is, can she feel her feet? Because if she's got no sensation in her feet, it's pretty much all over. She won't walk again. You don't feel it. I know, I'm very mean. I know. Yeah, because her front legs are working, the problem's in the middle of her back somewhere. I don't know what that is yet.
There's 3 main things I think it could be. One of them, obviously, is she's got a broken back. She could have slipped disc, so disc has just ruptured and gone up and compressed the spinal cord. And I guess the other thing is possible is that she's had a spinal stroke. But what we have to do is find out what is going on, and I think the best way for us to do that now is to do a CT scan and have a look at that. And we'll soon tell you if she's got a broken back.
Okay. Obviously, I hope that we don't have to put her down. Yeah.
The quicker we can do something, the better her chances of walking again. And if we delay this, we might get to a point where we can do no good for her. So we've got to do this now.
Misty is being anaesthetised for a CT scan.
Given the fact that she's fallen off a wall, she might have broken her back. So we're really looking at what's going on, and then we can decide what to do. Towards the tail, there's an area here that just doesn't look right, and it looks like it might be a bit of a disc bulging. So there's no obvious broken back, which is terrific, because that's a much harder road to recovery. But she has got a little area there that I'm worried about, that it might be a slip disc, but it's not clear enough. So we're just going to inject a dye in and around the spinal cord, just to highlight that and see if we can see how bad the compression is, if there is any. We're injecting the dye around the spinal cord, but dogs can have really bad reactions to it. So we've just got to watch her blood pressure, her heart rate, respiration, because sometimes they'll just stop breathing. So it can be a bit dicey.
Suddenly, Andrew's concerns are realised. Misty has stopped breathing and is in real trouble.
Just heart rate's just gone. Come on, Misty. We've just been injecting the contrast that sometimes dogs react to it quite badly, and her heart rate's just dropped off.
Andrew gives a shot of atropine to stimulate her heart.
Thank you. There we go, just took a breath, that's better. Normally they don't have any problems, and then suddenly her heart rate dropped to 40 and she stopped breathing, and it's like, bloody hell. She's all right.
Gonna scare us, Misty.
Yeah.
With her breathing stabilised, the CT scan can continue.
You can see here that's the normal spinal cord, and it's, you know, that's that ring of dye sitting around it, and that looks absolutely normal. And as we go back towards the tail again, we just lose that definition. She basically has got a traumatic ruptured disc. So it's just exploded up into the spinal canal and compressed the spinal cord, and also whacked it pretty hard.
Misty needs surgery immediately. Andrew delivers the news to owner Rosemary and her daughter Crystal.
It's not broken, and that's good, so it's stable, but it's just the cord is, you know, probably about 60% of the diameter that it should be, because it's been compressed all the way around.
Okay. It'll heal though, the spinal cord, like it'll, yeah.
I think she's got a chance of walking again. If we do nothing with Misty, or if we delay surgery here, she probably won't ever walk again. If we do surgery, she's got a chance, and so that's what we've got to give her. Righto, we'll see how we go. If we don't do this surgery, Misty's not going to walk again. And if she can't walk again, she doesn't have a life. So we've got to do this and make it work.
At SASH, Misty's delicate spinal surgery is underway.
We're so close to the spinal cord now that one slip could mean, you know, it's all over and she'll never walk again. There are risks with any surgery, but with spinal surgery, it's really high stakes stuff. I mean, her spinal cord is on the edge anyway. So if we got one wrong step here and touch the spinal cord the wrong way, we could make it so she definitely won't ever walk again. So we've got to be really careful. It doesn't look like much, but that's just a fragment of disc material that we've just rescued from within the canal. There's going to be a volume about 10 times that, which we'll eventually get out. So now I can actually see the cord. What we've done is taken all the pressure off the spinal cord and given it the best chance to heal. We're just at the end of surgery now, and we're suturing everything back up. So we've done what we can, so now it's just time. And TLC. Hey, Misty. Oh, it's bright, isn't it? Who's that? Is that your mum? Rosemary's come in to visit Misty today. She hasn't seen her since the surgery, so she doesn't really know what to expect.
When Rosemary and her daughter Crystal brought their paralysed Labrador Misty into SASH, they feared the worst.
Obviously, I'm hoping that we don't have to put her down. Yeah.
It's been a traumatic ordeal for the young Labrador.
Yesterday, my daughter saw her and told me that I had to come because she was so depressed and she needed some mental health care.
I think it's really important for owners to come in and see their pets when they're in hospital, because it's a really scary place for everybody, both owners and pet.
Tim Tam, which is our other dog, is really missing Misty. She's really quite depressed, isn't she? She's a bit sad you're not there, even though you pester her.
You watch Rosemary and she's patting her and giving a scratch on her tummy, and Misty's sort of rolling over and taking it all. And I think it's a really nice, secure feeling for both of them. It's really important for their mental health. Maybe if you just wander down there a bit, and we'll see if she'll wander as well. See? Look at that leg go.
Yeah, that one's going
Yeah. Walking with Misty today, her left leg's not doing as well as the right. It's not that surprising because most of the trauma was on that side, because it's still possible that one's just going to just not do anything.
Good girl. She's just a bit stuck, aren't you, darling? You just wish you could get up. That's the only problem. Yes.
Righto, Misty, let's see what you're up to. Come on. You're going to see what you can do.
Come on, Misty.
Oh.
It's time for Misty to go home.
Good girl. Let's see how you go. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, wow, look at that. This left one's got a little bit to go, but that's all right. She's nearly not knuckling on that other side, which is fantastic. This right side's going really well.
The operation to repair a badly ruptured disc has paid off.
I'll give her another couple of weeks and I think we'll have trouble stopping her.
It's a happy girl.
She can pee by herself, she can poo by herself. They're the hard things. A little bit of care at home, she'll be fine, so she's right to go. Good. Come on. Come on. Hello. Who's there? They're in here. There. Oh, look out. Look out. Look out. Look out. Oh, the tail. There we go. Good girl. See, they still love you.
Well, she looks thinner, which is good.
Came in paralysed and you came out thin.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Well done.
Crystal and Rosemary have still got a bit of a job ahead of them because Misty, I think, thinks she's better than she actually is. She wants to go, so they're going to have to actually slow her down. This is right. I'm fine now. It's all over. What was the worry? I'm good. And I'm skinny. All right then. See you later. When we first met Misty, she was paralysed in pain, and really it was touch and go because we didn't know whether she'd be able to walk again. Well, she could walk again, and that's a great result.
Around these parts, Bridget and Paula, the twinnies, are renowned for their passion and dedication for rescuing pelicans. Now, today they've called me in to help out one that has a mysterious condition that has even them stumped.
Chris is on the Gold Coast to meet a couple of familiar old friends who are dedicated to the care and rehabilitation of seabirds.
Hey, twinnies.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too.
So this is the girl, you nearly got a kiss as well.
Yes.
This is the girl you told me about?
Yes, yes we did.
Does she have a name?
Yes, we've named her Flipper.
Okay.
And you'll know why.
Just look straight down there, yeah.
Yes.
Wow. There's no doubt about it. Right now, Flipper is in a bad way. She's just missing all that webbing, and really that foot of hers just looks so fragile now. How's her general condition?
She's in good body condition.
Flipper was found by a member of the public who came across the stricken bird while out fishing.
When we saw Flipper for the first time and looked at her foot, we've never seen nothing like it before, so we couldn't really tell what's really happened to her.
And you can see the problem straight away. She's missing really that whole section there.
Yes.
And the fact it's not there worries me, but to be honest, what worries me the most is that. This black colour really says that we've got dead tissue there. A black discoloration to any part of the body essentially means the blood supply is gone and that tissue is dead. You know, already I've got big concerns that we might even lose what's remaining of these two toes.
Yeah.
This toe is not in bad shape.
No.
but you can just see where that webbing ends there.
Yes.
It's just hanging on for its life. These ones here, and even this one up here, isn't looking great.
I'm looking at that dead tissue and thinking, how am I going to treat it? But before I work out that, I have to understand what's actually caused it.
The way it looks, I would say either she's been bitten by something and she's got an infection after that,
Yes.
whether that's a shark, that's a possibility, or whether she's stood on something and got a little electric shock, because that does look like an electrical burn.
Yeah, it does, yes.
There was no fishing line on her, was there?
No, there's no fishing line, but you can see the old scars. Yeah.
All sorts of different possibilities as to what could have caused this injury are swirling around my head when all of a sudden my finger runs across a little groove on the leg.
I mean, that is quite deep, and that goes right around. See, that's interesting, because if she's had fishing line around there, that acts like a tourniquet, as you know, and so it starts to affect the blood supply to the foot below it.
Yes.
I actually think the blood supply has been so badly affected to the lower part of the foot, and especially the webbing on the end of the toes, that they're no longer getting blood.
Oh, yes.
And when tissue no longer gets blood, it starts to die off.
Wow.
It's like pieces of this jigsaw puzzle are falling into place before my very eyes. This fishing line wrapped around the leg essentially acted like a dam on a river. It blocked off almost all the flow. So further downstream in the toes or the webbing simply missed out. It went dry, and therefore the tissue has died off.
So that's important, because what it tells us, and I think this is good news, is that we don't have a nasty infection raging that's trying to work its way up the leg. We've kind of identified the reason why this has happened.
Yes.
And now we also know that the blood supply should be returning back to that foot.
Yes. Yes.
The key now is to check whether that fishing line being wrapped around the leg for so long has caused a permanent problem. By simply pricking the webbing with a needle, we'll know straight away if that blood supply is present.
Oh, yeah, good. Wow. That's a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. So we've got blood supply there.
Yes.
And that's in the webbing, so that says to me that webbing's probably going to survive.
Now I know this foot is viable, it's important to make sure we don't have any further infection or any further damage to this tissue. There's not much left, so we have to make sure we preserve what is there.
The next thing I want to do is just see how she's supporting her weight, because that's going to tell me how painful this foot is.
Yes.
She's taking, I would say, about 80% of her weight on her left leg, and that's going to cause problems in that leg too.
Yeah, it will.
First, let's clean this foot up, and then, while we're doing that, I'll try to work out a way to actually make this foot a lot more comfortable and a lot more functional.
You'll do it.
Thank you. I hope so. I don't really want to be too vigorous in there, because we've already got very raw tissue that if I expose it, it increases the risk of it getting a secondary infection.
Oh, okay. Well, Chris has been gentle, isn't he, huh? Yeah.
Okay, that's looking a lot better now. So
Yes.
that antiseptic will stop the bacteria from invading into those open wounds.
Yes.
That's a start. What's really going to help is some antibiotics.
The antibiotics will treat any infection or disease caused by bacteria from the injured foot.
We'll just do a little sting in this.
All right, so between the antibiotic and the antiseptic, I'm confident now that bacteria invading into this wound isn't going to be such a big deal.
Yes, okay.
All right.
That's good to hear. Yes.
But I still think the biggest issue we've got is this pressure problem. She's just not comfortable enough or confident enough to put anything like what she needs to in terms of weight on this bad foot.
Yeah.
What really worries me about Flipper right now is the fact that she's a big bird. She weighs 6 kilograms, and all that weight going through one foot. Any bird is susceptible to a foot problem called bumblefoot. It's caused by too much pressure going through the feet and infections being the result of it. I think I might need to go for a drive.
Okay. Wow, you're already on top of it.
I wouldn't say that, but I've got an idea about what I could use.
Okay. I'm not sure what Chris is up to, but he's on top of things already. He thinks so quick, he's just amazing. We know that Chris can fix Flipper.
I made a bit of a habit of coming up with interesting solutions for the twinnies, and today might be no different.
You've been a good girl. You're a very good girl.
Okay, twinnies, been shopping.
That was quick.
It was. So, it looks like I bought a yoga mat, but it's not. You've actually given me the idea for this. We're going to give Flipper, or Flip, her own flip-flop. Because what we need here, it's cushioning, sure, but also we need protection for these toes that are still there.
Yes, that's right.
And we need a way to make her more comfortable so that she will actually start to put weight on this foot. I'm thinking, what's the most basic form of footwear that offers some sort of comfort or even support? And suddenly, it hits me. It's thongs or flip-flops. So, what I want to do is lay this out. Then I want her foot,
The good one or the bad one?
the bad one.
Okay.
I want her foot right there. Make sure she's nice and comfortable. Okay. So now, go right around it.
First of all, Chris needs to make a protective base for Flipper's injured foot.
So that is a good starting point.
Then, with the help of a reverse template of the pelican's good foot, he can start to put together his master plan.
We love Chris's idea of the flip-flop and for Flipper's foot, and we think it is going to work.
Pretty sure I haven't done this much arts and crafts since kindergarten. Right, so that's Flip's new foot.
Yes.
You can see where her existing foot is going to go in. And then, once those little toes are in there, we need to now secure them across the top.
Okay.
And the way we're going to do that is with this.
Good old Velcro.
Good old Velcro.
As Flipper waits patiently, Chris is attaching the Velcro that will help keep the shoe in place, along with some cushioning.
Okay.
Yes.
I think I'm ready for our patient.
Okay, sweetheart.
This is really make or break for Flipper. This has to work, otherwise she could be facing a lifetime of problems. Let's hope it fits, huh?
Yes. Yeah, it looks like it's perfect.
So just like the straps on a pair of sandals,
Yes.
we'll start to put these across. So we're happy that it's sitting in there nicely.
Yes.
Nothing's rubbing, everything's been cushioned. Okay, it's a pretty good fit.
Yes.
I've got to say, I'm actually pretty happy with that. It is a lightweight fix for a heavy bird problem. So it's just going to take some getting used to for her. So once she feels like this is how it's meant to be and becomes her new normal,
Yes.
then she'll start taking the weight off this left leg
Yes.
and shifting it onto the right.
Yes.
And we can start doing that by lifting up the left leg.
Yeah.
You see now, all that weight is through her right leg.
Yeah.
Really, a little bit of physio like that from the twinnies, and in the next few days, we should really start to see Flipper starting to walk more normally and spread that weight more evenly. And that would be a perfect result. Put her on the ground. Let's have a look. I'll move this away.
Perfect.
What do you reckon? What do you think?
Oh my God. See? See?
Good pair of
Oh.
shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. You're happy, miss?
A little flap of approval from the Flipper.
No, look, she's walking perfectly.
She just wants to show off the new shoes to the neighbours.
I know that she's got it even on there. Perfect fit.
And she's standing a bit more square, isn't she?
Yeah. Oh, what a sweetheart. Well,
It's amazing.
done another good job. This challenge, again, what Chris has done, he's an amazing vet, and that's why we always keep our challenges for Chris.
All right, we'll leave her to rest.
Yes. There you go, darling. Look at you.
I'll be honest, when I got the call from the Twinnies about Flipper, I had serious concerns that maybe I wouldn't be able to help. But thankfully, there's been just enough webbing there for me to make some sort of difference. As I've learnt in the past, these girls have incredible powers when it comes to rehabilitating these birds. So in the future, I can't rule out the fact that one day, Flipper might be able to kick off those shoes and go back to the wild.
But thank you again.
No worries at all.
Thank you again.
You know what? It's always a surprise,
Yes.
but always a pleasant one.
Yes, I'm going to be plenty more.
Oh, that's not my right.
We hope.
So do I.
Hi, I'm Dr. Danny. If you enjoyed this video, then please remember to subscribe to the Bondi Vet YouTube channel. Click on the screen now to continue watching more great content.